everybody, welcome! And we just would like to say that this episode is sponsored by love and friendship, and possibly you hitting the subscribe button. So go ahead and do it, and you'll be
incredible
blessed with
violence.
good luck. Incredible violence, too. But, it's just kind of a fun mixture of all. So hit the subscribe button, and you'll be blessed with good luck for, I can give you a month. That's it.
Top.
Yeah,
Turn on
recap.
notifications.
Yes, notifications. Hit
Hit that little bell button.
The bell, the like button.
Give us
It'll
two
protect you from the
enthusiastic
monster under your
thumbs up.
bed. See, if you do the thumbs up, it'll protect you from the monster underneath your bed at night.
Maybe.
Guaranteed.
Not scientifically
Maybe.
proven. Results may vary.
Recap.
Didn't work. Oh, because I have space on it, that's why.
Now, how about subscribe to my YouTube channel?
That's a random subscribe. Anyway, alright. Recap. In search of the components Python needs to cure herself of her doomed condition, the party stumbles upon a detouring situation with a fractured group of orcs. Devotees to Talos, whose mission seems to be enlisting the aid of their chaotic deity by performing some dark ritual. Seeing as how the orcs are currently occupying their end destination, or the party's end destination, and potentially in possession of another component Python needs for her cure, the party investigates, eventually leading to an encounter with one of the orcish shamans within the abandoned woodland mansion. While spending some time to loot magical items left behind by the former occupant, the party also discovers a magical scrying orb, upon which they use to spy on Pythavin's brother Corlin. Unfortunately, Corlin, sensing their deception, confronts his sister in conversation, which ends abruptly, forcing a grieved Pythavin to flee the room, with Tor shortly behind with an intent to comfort. While the girls separated themselves, the boys continue their search for loot. Mahi plays with his new magical boots, not quite understanding how they would fit to his draconically clawed feet, but surprisingly, when the boots magically meld themselves comfortably and giving him some spring to his step. Angela discovers while inspecting the mantle, behind an invisible illusion, there lay a finely crafted rapier, a crescent moon emblazoned upon the hilt. As he experiments with handling the weapon, he notices the blade reflecting with a moonlight glow and lighting up the more darkened corners of the dimly lit room. After a few moments, the girls return, although a few of the boys do see past Pythavin's attempt to conceal her emotional responses, and the party decides on who their next scrying subject will be, while the orb still maintains some magical power. They decide spying on Virith would be the next best use of their time, and Angelo volunteers, discreetly implying his connection with the subject. However, he requests everyone else but Pythavin leave the room. The two of them peer into the orb and witness Virith's current whereabouts. They envision a dark, cavern-like area with a small, makeshift, and temporary encampment nestled between the stalagmites and echoed sounds, a distant wave echoing in the background. Upon which Virith is conversing with a male drow, identified as quote-unquote brother. Neither of the drow notice any scrying presence, and so Angelo and Pythavin on their current conversation. They are in the middle of recounting their plans, presumably a final acquisition of the forge and the steps necessary to gain access. The brother questions Virith on her readiness while peering over an unfolded map. Virith responding with her need to visit the goblins of the Cragmaw Castle shortly, where they have been keeping Gundren, the dwarven owner of the forge map, still alive but still imprisoned for some potential future use. The brother starts to question her on their suspected allies, loyalties. Virith increasingly becomes agitated throughout the conversation as it drags on, confronting the brother on a few occasions, revealing his lack of knowledge on their current events. She expresses the misery of having to endure her surface life, longs to returning home to the Underdark, while the brother alludes to both of them having to endure, for the time being, the whims of their respected masters. The brother, then confirms his allegiance with a Duke Zalto, a fire giant lord, which the party has heard that name before while uncovering evidence on a glass staff back in Phandalin. He reiterates the Giant Lord's plot revolving around the power of the Forge for the reconstruction of the Vonindad, an ancient construct used during the battles between giants and dragons centuries ago. Vyrith comments with her intentions to use the Forge herself by empowering her army of goblins and orcs to descend back into the Underdark and reclaim her rightful place. Vengeful remittance for her exile many years ago. The brother seemingly argues the merits of her desires, dangers of betrayal against such powerful allies, but she quickly reminds him of his and her sister's short-term enslavement to the fire giants not long after their initial banishment from the Underdark. Vyrith continues to chastise her brother, stating that although he currently remained chained to his giant masters, herself and her sisters were free of any such expected loyalty, something that Tavith has alluded to with his recollection of the past and escaping with 3 drow sisters. The brother diverts by next inquiring to the previously mentioned sisters, one he named Maya, upon which Vyrith answering that she still remained in Dambrith, still leashed to the Church of Lovitar, while herself and another sister, Viconia, were sent to Athkatla on orders to start a splinter faction under the guise of the local Thieves Guild many decades ago. She muses on the dedication of both sisters to their faith, claiming Maya was content with her part in place, but Viconia strived to achieve greatness within the ranks, and it cost her dearly. Vyrith, herself lacking that same devotion, slights her sisters of her own disillusionment with the church, but in the same breath threatens the brother on mentioning Viconia, since he did not witness the events that transpired during that time. He then deflects on Vyrith's master's intentions with the Forge. Yet Vyrith shrugs off the question with subtle tactfulness, alluding to their aligned goals for now. He moves on to the status of the guild after previously mentioned events, which Vyrith confirms its disbandment after the interference of a certain known detective, but the refilling of the ranks with the goblin and orcish recruits will suffice in its place. After some more small talk and Vyrith's continual irritation to the apparent masculinity of the circle of authority around her, she has found herself enveloped, or that she has found herself enveloped by. They conclude the conversation, stating the final pieces of the puzzle will soon be delivered to them, just within a few days, and alluding to the confrontation with the party, the ultimatum being the keys to the Forge for the antidote for Pythavin, and declaring that victory was nigh. However, the brother gives one final warning of overconfidence to Vyrith as she leaves, and the scrying spell eventually fails, leaving Pythavin and Angela to reflect on what they just saw and heard. They narrate all this back to the rest of the group, Angela leaving out only certain parts, while they finish their rest. Before heading out, Tor and Pyth take an opportunity to browse the library, where Tor scribbling some notes that were left behind by the former wizard and her apprentices on a few spells that she had wanted to learn and given enough time to do so. Python discovers some further insight to the former occupant from some journals she discovered. A half-elven wizard of somewhat reclusive renown once lived and taught others in this location, and she apparently had abandoned her homes many decades ago in search of the source of the blights in the area when the northern mountains erupted, but seemingly the wizard never returned. The apprentices that eventually, or evidently also learned and lived here, equally fled, but not before ransacking their former master's goods. With the protection spells once placed on the home having long since failed, and the tree that was planted in the courtyard having succumbed to the blight itself, the house lays in its current ruined state as nature attempts to reclaim the area. Pythavan also learning that the wizard was a devout follower of Airdrie Anya and involved in the caretaking of the Circle of Thunder, the same one occupied by the Pelosian orcs just a few miles north. With this knowledge, the party leaves the house once more, heading north in pursuit of the orcs that had managed to flee and escape from the encounter before. Following directions that Radoth had given them, and confirming with a map the orcs had left behind, the party make good time and arrive short of their destination when they stumble across another patrol of orcs, this time led by a shaman wielding a javelin of lightning. suspected to this be the same patrol that took down that unicorn they overheard previously from the orcs back at the mansion, and currently headed to the same direction of the circle, so the party engages. Pythavin demanding to know more about the orcs' intentions and specific nature of this ritual, but refusing to be delayed any further, she strikes first, while the rest of the party joins in. Yargath, the shaman leading this patrol, attempts to intimidate them with his javelin, but the party quickly overwhelms the orcs, bottlenecking the ridge, and eventually they stand victorious over the battered and broken shaman. In a last stand of defense, he curses the group, claiming their inability to stop the ritual. Talos will soon remit his vengeance. The author confirms their destination of the circle upon where the ritual will take place, relieving the former elven sky goddess of her shrine and her items, and directs the party to proceed at their own peril to meet the rest of his clan and witness the destruction of Talos firsthand. Mahi judges and inevitably executes the shaman, looting him of his amulet, which Angelo shortly discards to the ravine thereafter. But he also retrieves a potion of greater healing from the corpse. Pythavin takes possession of the javelin, and noting the symbol of Erdrithania upon the handle itself. A gentle breeze comforts her for just a slight moment, but then quickly turns to a very chilled gust. As night approaches and the ever-looming storm gathering in the sky above, the party continues to make their way to the Circle of Thunder, where they are currently witnessing the streaking of lightning up ahead. And here, if you guys have logged in, you will have seen the layout of the hill as you are approaching. Now, Pythavin, you have basically some knowledge of it with the parts that you cannot see, but I'll kind of explain this a little bit here. So, as the ominous storm clouds gather in the sky above, you approach a 90-foot tall hill with trees spreading across the slopes. Atop the hill is a larger ring of standing stones. There's multiple figures that dance within the hedge, but currently it's surrounded by kind of a dense fog that you can't see through at the moment. What you remember, Pythavin, from reading about some of the what the caretakers that used to use the shrine for Airdrie, that there were priestly quarters that were built into 3 of little caves that are actually built underneath the shrine. The cave entrances outline the outskirts, basically, of the circle. And you do remember them discussing as far as ways where they can access the very top of the hill from within the caves. So as opposed to charging up the hill in the open, that is also another alternative in reaching that top. And if you guys will see here, what we were referring to is that, and that. Doot, doot, doot. That is not the pointer. That's drawer. There we go. Pointer, pointer, pointer. And they will lead to their respected layouts of these caves.
Okay.
They will.
Okay, those are caves. Oh,
Yep. The entrance, the exits. Well, the entrances for these caves are here, but they'll have exits that are placed symmetrically around the circle. In the meantime, the open fields pretty much are empty. You do see some lightning strikes that are occurring, and every few moments hits the ground, hits the ground again. And within the circle itself is kind of a grayish fog cloud that's encircled.
Well, suppose from you two, and I point to Pythavin and Angelo, heard. This is just Angelo. I cannot remember. It's been a while. Angelo? Sorry. What you heard, the guy we killed back there was the one running this ritual. So possibly it's voice crack. Holy crap.
Gotta get back
Could
into the
just
groove
be-
a little bit.
I know. It's been a
Matthew,
minute.
you're right.
You need a drink, buddy?
Mahi,
need
you're
some-
kind of
do
sounding
you
like
need
a
some water?
17, 18-year-old boy.
I know
Some
it's
water.
really weird.
I have a water skin for you.
Thanks. Actually, just drunk water. Just then, I really did. It's possibly just a bunch of grunts up there. With our luck, it's probably not, but
We could really
Your
use
point?
some rest before we get too involved here.
he spits a little blood.
But if they intend on doing this tonight, our intention was to come here and
I-
see if we could wait it out.
I don't know if we can. I mean, lightning's looking pretty serious, and they got the whole mystic fog thing going on.
Well, we can camp out here and see what happens. We can plan to rest. But if something happens, we will be close enough to put an end to it.
That seems like a good decision.
DM, do we have an idea of how urgent this is, or could we possibly take a long rest?
Does it look like right now urgent or like 8 hours later urgent?
Like in the morning urgent.
There definitely seems to be activity above, and as you're kind of watching over the landscape here, I mean, you're noticing that the lightning strikes are kind of getting closer and becoming more frequent.
I don't think we'd make it through the night.
You would also recall that there were some orcs that had escaped the mansion that did not necessarily recognize from the patrol previously.
But I
So
have
you
their lightning rod.
But you suspect that these orcs either you got here before they did, and you knew one of them was carrying something that Granok, the one of the shaman in the mansion, had given. You suspect. Well, let's just say you're not aware of whether or not they got here before you did, or you got here first.
Chances
Both
of
of them.
us getting here before them are slim.
They didn't leave
Maybe.
before you, so.
Reminds me of that scene off of
And you had a short rest previously at the mansion, and some of the scrying time frames, and the encounter you just destroyed on the the patrol previously. So,
Poor guys were on parole and we just took that away from them? Dang it.
unless these guys took the scenic route, most likely they had already arrived.
Was Angelo gonna say something?
Yeah. Python,
What?
do you want your dagger back?
Well, I have this now, and I hold up the javelin.
Alright.
What?
Well, in that case, Python, can I have your other dagger?
Why?
Why not?
Why are you just trying to take all of my daggers now?
Well, I've lost mine over the years. Usually I would carry anywhere between 5 and 6.
Why are you guys so obsessed with carrying so many short-range weapons?
They're not necessarily
Y'all aren't even that
short
big.
range.
Hey, Python,
I
can
would
have my
like-
iPad back?
Not yet. I would like to insight check Angelo.
Alright.
Did he actually carry that many daggers?
Okay, this guy just wants to take your dagger, so when we get back to Andolin, he's like, "Here's your daggers my friend has stolen." To be like the major, like he's just playing the long con. That's what he's doing.
What did you get on your?
On my what?
Did you roll the set? I got a 23. What am I?
I didn't roll because I'm not lying, sucker.
Did you have any daggers when you arrived to Phandalin?
No.
So you used to carry some 6 daggers, and you somehow had none when you arrived in Phandalin.
Correct.
I get the sense that you are a terrible gambler.
Oh, well,
I think we've established that already.
If you lose
Well,
that
I
one,
would
let
like-
me know. We'll discuss this later.
all right. It's not that I was a bad gambler. It's that It's
Mhm.
kind of a cycle. I would lose a bet. I would not hold up to my end, and the daggers were a bargaining chip for my life.
So what I'm hearing
What?
is you're not a terrible gambler.
You're a sore
just
loser.
You're just yeah.
Correct.
All right.
But that is besides the point. There's lightning.
We should take care of that.
Yeah, that's a pretty big problem. Python, I have a quick question for you.
Oh boy.
This is your god. Do you think he'll take kindly to you stopping his little party?
As far as I'm concerned, I'm stopping it to get the parts of it that I need.
Was nobody concerned about that perfectly timed thunderclap there?
I've encountered so many of them in the past 2 weeks.
Talos is real.
Good to know.
The point is, I have no reason to believe that stopping this ritual will put me in a bad position, because she kind of trails off, realizing that she hasn't exactly told them about her visions.
Do you have a reason to believe it will put you in a good position?
I just think she doesn't think it could put her in a bad position because she thinks she's already in a bad position.
What she said.
The point is, I can't serve Talos if I'm dead, and they have pieces that I need to find a cure. So,
Not trying to sound like a jerk, but does Talos really care about his followers? Like, let's see. Like,
Mahi, do you want to stop talking and making the thunder boom? It's typically happening when you keep talking. I'm not sure what's going on.
Talos.
please don't say that.
Talos,
But,
if you're
like-
real, strike Mahi down where he stands.
Please don't.
I don't suggest we
He
play
does
that
kind of
game.
look out for a second.
However, if you really want to test fate, make yourself a lightning rod. And I'm gonna stick my rapier straight in the air.
Please stop. I would like to pull his hand down.
Can I hold his hands up with him?
Here, no, Tavith is taller. Give him the rapier.
Oh, yes, of course. Don't break it.
Holding
both
the
of
rapier
you.
up in the
Straight up,
air.
Tavith.
I will electrocute both of you myself. Put the weapons away.
All right, give me the rapier.
What? Aw, okay.
Don't steal my things again.
She might keep the eye patch.
So, we're gonna go up this mountain and probably kill more orcs because they don't want to be reasoned
it.
with like civilized beings. Let's do this, guys.
Python, you still haven't answered my question.
What was the question?
Talos to me, dealing with things like this in the past, just kind of a chaotic cult. Unintended. Why would he care? And to be honest, what makes you think you're good with him if you and point towards the lightning altar? Stop that.
Let me put this very simply. And I point back where we came. They are dead. We are not.
Good enough for me. Let's go.
This isn't metagaming.
between
This
those
is
two
you're
responses.
dodging the question. You're dodging the question.
Go ahead.
What are you trying to find out here exactly?
Basically, your demeanor of, are you trying to hide something? Like, are you, like, is, you know, like, getting a feel for you, basically. Like,
When is Python not trying to hide?
That's what I was gonna say. It's like she's always sus.
constantly hiding
here.
things?
Even if
Here,
you pass this, then you're really gonna learn anything.
We rolled 17 insight.
You can test that, Python. If so, roll deception.
I mean, I'm not lying. I don't know what I would even roll against.
Are you
Well, specifically
hiding
since he's
something?
rolling that you're hiding something, you would probably have to roll deception. Since you do know a reason why
This
Talos
line of
would want
questioning.
you.
If you feel you're omitting the truth,
Yep.
that would be also a lie.
I got a 19. What did you roll?
He got a 17.
17.
All right, Mahi, you get the sense that what she's telling you seems legit.
She's no more sus than she usually is.
Yeah, not anything necessarily different for what you have known of her.
Anyone else want
I
to
wish my
insight
insight
check?
was higher,
At least she
wish my
believes what
insight
she's
was
saying.
right?
Angelo's passive's
You know
higher
it
than a
better than I
19,
would.
isn't it?
Technically,
my
Angelo,
passive-
yes, that is correct, I believe.
what-
Your
what is
passive
my-
is what?
I think my passive insight is a 19.
So while Mahi might not see through it, you suspect there's definitely more to this. It can't be necessarily as simple as Python is letting on.
All right, I'll let her keep her secrets.
You surmise that there's probably a whirlwind of emotions inside of her right now. So you don't have the context to know.
Well,
Well,
so we have 3 options. We try to camp out, even though it seems like a terrible idea. 2,
All right, we're not considering that one.
okay, then we have 2 options. 1, we go up to the top of this hill and try to get a better, well, not the top, but we go higher up on this hill and try to get a better idea of what's going on. Or 2, we go underneath and see what we find in the, I don't know what to call it, catacombs?
Cave.
Caves.
Yeah, you just know that the clergy, that when they built this shrine initially, they dug out some caves underneath the shrine. Mostly it's for facility, not really anything else, but possibly could have been repurposed.
The first option will give us more direct answers, but given the state that we're all in, maybe we don't need direct. Maybe we need subtle.
Well, all I know is it's definitely going to end in a fight either way. Going under, we might catch them by surprise. Going up the hill, there's a reason that defense points are built on the hill. You can't quite sneak up on them.
You're not wrong.
yeah, I was gonna suggest scouting, not me, because
And I kind of jangle the chainmail.
Because why would you put yourself in harm's way?
Tor, could you send Drippy?
Wimp.
I'm speaking to because I'm loud, and I would just give us away.
Uh-huh.
Can you send Drippy
I
to
can
the top
send
of the
Drippy
hill?
up. Yes. I'm gonna grab onto Angela's arm and I'm gonna give up my sight and hearing. And Drippy's gonna slither his way up like this way, like through these trees here.
We're gonna drip.
Do I need to roll anything like perception?
If you want to roll stealth and perception.
Okay.
hmm
Okay, my stealth was a nat 20.
Dang.
Nice.
Hey, they can't see
Oh,
Drippy,
my-
but
My perception's an 18
Very good.
without any modifier. So that was a nat 20 and 18 for perception. Drippy's out here rolling like a god.
Real.
So Drippy feels very normal in his outside environment. Basically, it's if he wasn't necessarily I guess he's a fey creature, or is he celestial? How did you make
He's celestial, actually.
celestial? So him specifically, not necessarily being akin to this environment, but the form that you have chosen for him seems to have given him some unique advantages. So he goes through the grass, through the trees, the bushes, and slowly makes his way. Now it's an uphill climb, so it will take him a few moments to get up there.
Mhm.
It's about 70 feet out of the way. You have what, 100
I have 100 feet before I
feet before you
lose the
lose?
ability to tell him what to do.
Okay. All right. When he gets to the top of the hill and he kind of is coming out through kind of the few trees that are bordering that part of the circle, so he's get a better look at, and you vicariously through him, get a better look at the ring of the 8 upright stone structures, each one consisting of about 2 10-foot high vertical stone slabs, and they're spaced about 5 feet apart. And they're topped with about a 3-foot thick flat lintel stone. They look ancient. They look like they've been here for some time. They don't necessarily look like they could easily be toppled over. Possibly a very, very large creature could do so, or a very, very strong creature could do so. In the middle of the circle, you're seeing several humanoid figures. And right now, from this position, it's kind of obscured. So they're, for the most part, shadowish. You can't really make out much details. But there seems to be several figures kind of dancing around something in the center of the circle.
I relay this to the group.
At which point, a couple of orcs kind of trail off to the side and come out in view. You see they look like general grunts, and they are just currently kind of one's leaning against one of the slabs. They don't seem to be conversing, but they're just kind of looking around. Every so often, they both kind of look up into the sky. A few minutes go by, and you hear the thunder kind of rolling in again. And then you see an actual lightning strike hit the center. Both of the orc kind of jump and kind of turn their attention away from Drippy, so their backs are facing him at the moment. You see some sudden movements in the center of it.
Yeah, I'm just relaying all of this as it's happening.
Another couple of orcs kind of pop out here. And you kind of see they kind of start taking positions.
We should move.
Yeah, this is definitely looking like something that we cannot wait out, guys.
I'm gonna start heading toward, like, kind of just pulling. If Tor's still in. Wait, did you come out of it? Or
No,
you can't hear what
that
I'm
was
saying?
me making the
Yeah.
comment via.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't commenting to you. That was just a comment she was making that happened to line up perfectly.
So yeah, Pi's just gonna kind of grab Tor's arm and start pulling her off, like, into the cover of these trees, going towards the east.
Use your pointer. I don't know words like east.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's right.
Never eat soggy Wheaties. That's the
We're
rule of
going
thumb.
this way.
Never-
That's where we're going.
I've been dragged.
All right. So everyone who is moving in that direction, I need you all to make a stealth check, please,
Ah,
I
crap.
have a question. Is it
including
just
the
like
horse,
Okay.
like thunder and
unless you
lightning,
want
or
to
is it
dismiss it.
raining?
It's not raining.
Hmm.
It's just very nasty storm clouds. At this point, we're pretty much darkened, and you do see that the orcs themselves have torches that they're starting to kind of light up around the circle.
Does anybody want to like guide me or something?
I'm
Is
guiding
this-
myself, buddy. We're both.
I'm
Am I
gonna.
really here? I mean,
ride-
disadvantage?
By the way, Mahi, did you
sir.
want to roll for your horse, or did you want to dismiss him?
Yeah.
I'm leaving the horse back there. I'm not.
I'm gonna just leave him.
Just gonna vibe.
All right.
Yeah. I'll just kind of retcon and say Mahi as we were walking away. Just basically mentally told the horse
Oof.
to stay there.
So you kind of take your claws and kind of do a silent motion to the horse, like you're playing baseball. The horse kind of
Mhm.
nods, gets your drift, and he
That's
kind
cool.
of backs up into behind one of the trees and kind of stays near it.
That's a 6 for me.
So a 6 for Tavi.
Disadvantage.
A 9.
No. Tor, no!
I have disadvantage as well.
God.
I got an 18.
Eat.
Come on, Rogue. Save us.
23.
Nice. Kind of like that.
I mean, to be fair, there's like lightning right behind them, a lot of noise and chanting, and we're like at the bottom of the hill.
Mahi, what you get?
8.
Wow.
Well,
I'm not stealthy. I have no dex, and I have disadvantage on stealth.
Same.
Well, get better.
As we moved, could I kind of just, like, make a little thaumaturgy thunder to cover the sound of us moving?
okay. I will say actually, if with that cast, go ahead and remove the disadvantages from Tor and Taviv. And
me?
Mahi. Yes, all of you. Yeah. For all of you
Well,
that had
I'll-
disadvantage on this.
I rolled a 10. I already did twice, so now it's a 10.
Okay.
I rolled a 12
Okay.
the first time without disadvantage.
Okay.
I don't remember what my other roll was, but I just re-rolled for a 16.
Okay.
I had a 25 without disadvantage.
All right.
Wait a
This is a lot better, guys.
You are welcome.
All right.
Thank you, Lightning Cleric.
It's cool because even passively, those orcs aren't going to see anything at this point. Alrighty, because yeah, that happened. 2s are never good. So you guys kind of in the open area between the trees, you kind of time it with the thunder, and then Python, obviously trying to also time her thaumaturgy along with the thunder, kind of just to make sure that it doesn't seem out of place, and it kind of echoes out in an opposite direction away from you. So you all pretty much duck behind some trees, and you're in some dense terrain at the moment. You kind of look up the hill, but at this point you don't see anything.
As we're crouched down, Mahi just pulls out a potion bottle. Look, I'm not trying to be selfish or anything, but I'm tapped.
And whatever spells you got, Pyth, you need to use for whatever's going to happen up there.
Where did
Pops
you
it.
get that?
It's weird, like when we were having that week-long stasis of before we did anything, the gods just said, hey, you have a potion of healing now. Strange,
I
it's
know,
the
right?
darndest
It's-
He looted
Darn
Yargoth, and I
mistake.
forgot to give it to him.
thing. I found it on the orc.
Okay. I'm not. What?
I just didn't with current
Just drink your potion.
Alright. Gulp.
Alright.
To be fair, Python wouldn't have known because she walked off way before that happened.
She would have
Right.
saw it, and like Mahi's just like Mahi knows he's already on thin ice, so he's like trying to like, hey.
I'd say Angelo's probably the only one that might have saw that if he was paying attention, because he is the one who took your amulet and tossed it.
When isn't Angelo paying attention?
Well, say Angelo sees everything, so he noticed
I
you
saw
pocket.
it.
He noticed
But I
you
did
pocket
that.
something.
I did the bit where I didn't care.
Well, that's 12 points of healing. It's better than nothing.
With the greater.
It's 44 plus 4. And I rolled 2, 2, 3, and a 1.
I hate you.
Plus 4.
Wow.
44 plus 4 is 48, stupid.
Oh!
Whoa, wait a minute. What did he say
Okay.
at first?
Okay.
It's 4d4 plus.
44 plus 4. Okay, thank you guys for clearing that up for me.
We're saying the same thing, Mr. DM.
Yes.
44 plus 4.
44
Four.
plus 4.
D4.
4d8.
44.
Yeah, 44.
4t or 4d?
I told you to make the dinosaurs
hear this.
meteor.
4ds.
A meteor.
Here.
Meteor.
All right, so Mahi expends his health potion.
As a side
And-
note,
and-
Pyth looks extra pale right now.
Internally, the red liquid as it soothes and goes down his gullet and turns into chromosomal 4d4s. Starts
I would
attacking.
just like to state that I am keeping the vial. Like the empty vial. Just-
Okay. You could say you have an empty potion bottle. Just put that in your
Yeah,
That's
I got it. I'll edit.
custom. There might be just a bottle. Is there a bottle on the inventory?
Sure.
Yeah, bottle glass. Yeah, you can just add a bottle glass to it.
Okay.
Alrighty. Python Tor, you are moving through.
Yup.
Yep.
Okay. At this point, you guys are behind cover, so you're far enough away.
I am eyeballing that cave entrance.
So as you start heading kind of and you're looping around, from what you recall from some of the notes that you remember reading here, you do see up ahead in the open clearing there being a cave entrance. It's also made of, it looks like the same kind of material that the stones are made of. It's kind of lentil stone that's bordering the mouth of this cave.
Are y'all just gonna... Are you coming?
Yep.
Okay. Can I... Do you want to bring Drippy back, Tor?
Yeah. Well, actually, she's still got him out. She's still giving up her sight and hearing to kind of keep an eye up here right now, so I'll have to like shake her arm.
I'll just drag Tor along for now. She can keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening where she needs to be present.
Yet.
Can I check the entrance to that cave over there?
Go ahead and roll perception.
See if there's anything of note. Nat 20, 26.
Nice, 26. Okay. At the moment, the cave entrance looks bare. There doesn't seem to be anything necessarily guarding it, from what we can tell. No shadows, no, and your dark vision at this point coming into play here. There does seem to be light that's coming out from it now. That's kind of the differentiating itself from the darkening landscape at this point as it gets closer to night and the clouds are getting darker and darker. One thing that's interesting is that you do spy there's some kind of emblem that is carved into the stone, and you can't quite make it out from your distance here, but there is some kind of a pictograph depicted.
I would like to kind of just. Is Tor still holding on to Angelo?
Yeah, she was originally holding on to Angelo.
So I'm gonna let go of Tor and head over to get an actual closer look now. So, okay, I have so many tabs open. Do. So I'm basically going ahead to check, and I'm gonna motion to the others to kind of stay where they are for a second.
Tor, are you still looking through Drippy?
Yes.
So you are seeing that the orcs that are kind of outskirting the inner part of the circle here, they are shifting their positions. They look like they're kind of trying to take up some kind of a patrolling nature. So
Okay.
a few of them are starting to duck behind some of the slabs, so they're out of your view at the moment.
Okay.
Python, go ahead and roll a stealth check for me.
I'm also gonna try to time this with the thunder again because
Okay.
I am not sneaky. And I'm popping a guidance.
So it's just straight roll then.
It's not too shabby. 17, 18, 19, 20 total.
20. Pretty good.
Wait,
Okay.
no. Yeah. 20 total.
Okay. All right. So as you come out of cover and kind of go into the open field here, cross over, can you give a little bit of a wide berth to the cave entrance, just in case you didn't pick up anything earlier, but you don't notice any movement at the top of the hill. No apparent, horns or sirens or anything going off to your knowledge. As you get closer to the entrance, though, you do get a little bit better picture. So the little pictograph that's depicted on the front of it is definitely a symbol that is matching the one on your javelin. However, unfortunately, this one is kind of scratched out, and you see very similarly crudely drawn, just like you saw back at the mansion, little stick figures. So you see kind of the they crossed out the emblem, the holy symbol, and they drew 3 little stick figure humanoids and then little lightning bolts striking them. It's definitely the work of a 3-year-old.
The intelligence
Or
of a
an-
3-year-old.
Probably did it.
Tavi, stop desecrating holy sites.
Gosh dang it,
Fine,
Tavis.
dude.
Irresistible.
Can I look down into the cave entrance? Which is the only reason that Pyth is the one doing this, because dark vision.
So this will be the bottom left. I'll give you a little bit more here. Actually, just do it this way.
Oh, that tripped me out a little bit.
Boop. There we go. The cave goes in. There's it looks like it's dimly lit inside with torches.
Is that as far as I can see?
That is as far as you can see from that angle. Yep.
Then I'll move to this angle.
So you do see it where it kind of from inside, it looks like it forks to the left and to the right.
I'm gonna look back over to the others and motion them over.
I'm gonna
And again,
follow and bring Tor along.
time their movement with some thaumaturgy.
Yay.
Very convenient. Thunderstorm makes stealthy easy.
Alright, so everyone go ahead and roll. Just straight rolls for those with disadvantages. Advantage if you don't have a disadvantage.
17. These are
Oops.
good stealth rolls from me, Mr. 26.
8.
I was so close to a natural 20. 8.
I got 17.
Rogue, you're gonna have to save us.
Why did
Angie.
Oh, yeah,
Where did
25.
Python go?
Oh.
I'm moving to the actual cave.
Oh, I see. So the rest of you, as you kind of follow behind and try to stealthily, you kind of watch as she thaumaturgies and kind of casts it out up to the north direction. As you all kind of singularly go out from the foliage and meet up in the cave. Once everyone has well, Python, if you're going to go first, you're not going to be able to help them.
Then I'll wait outside. I was just moving.
Yeah,
them.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So everyone starts piling in one by one, and then once everyone is in, and to your knowledge, no ill effects at this point. Why is there a red dot here? I don't know who did that, but yeah, you're good to go. You guys can enter in accordingly.
Once we're all in the clear, I'm gonna go back to the no, because there's torches, so doesn't really matter who leads at this point.
Yeah, there's torches. Angelo, as you enter, and you can kind of notice that there are tracks passively on the ground, varying which ways, left, right. It's no specific, but you can see it's been well traversed, and most recently, the dust has kind of kicked up in here. Everything else, however, looks fairly well. It's a dug out earthen cave, so there's literally not a whole lot of architecture to really kind of gauge age on this point, but
Yep.
Mahi
that-
is just gonna.
especially with the lighted torches, you assume that it's been used recently. Unless these are magic torches that never go out unless adventurers come in. Which tends to happen more often than not.
You wouldn't mind, Angelo. May I go first? Kind of pat the shield a little bit. I can take a hit, just in case if something pops up or something.
Preferably, I'm gonna take Tor's hand off of my arm and I'm gonna put it on Mahi's.
Ew!
Oops.
I hate you.
If you
Okay.
can take a hit, make sure she does not.
Tor
And I'm
looks
gonna keep walking.
disgusted, as if because Tor knows what just
Tor's like, I
happened.
feel scales.
She's like, this is armor and large arms. This means only one person in our group.
There's only one
She
person
feels-
who wears armor other than Mahi.
And their arms are not this large.
Can
I'm
our
gonna.
recollection? Yeah, no, Tor can't hear us.
I'm gonna go to that point. I'm gonna kind of look back to Pyth, and I'm gonna point to the left, and I'm just gonna wait for approval.
She flashes a thumbs up.
All right, I'm gonna start going to the left.
Okay, let's go, Mahi.
Come on, Miss Vetha, please don't kill me when this is over.
Well, she didn't immediately come out of drippy mode and murder you, so you've got that going
Right.
for you.
Right? There's still hope.
Pice, I'm gonna go investigate the right side.
No,
That is
right,
not
okay.
what the plan was.
That's
Alright.
not what Angelo was going for, but okay.
Just poking my head
Pipe-
around. I'm not going that
Pipe's
way.
really out here thinking she's invincible. I don't care what her problem is.
What do you expect?
Wrong choice, Angelo.
Or maybe right choice for me. All right, well, I'm gonna go all the way to there.
Oh,
Oh, what?
Oh,
oh,
Do you?
Alright.
Do you?
Okay, well, if there's a thing there,
Real quick, hold on.
Whoa.
can he even get out of that space, that giant man?
we're just gonna run.
Yeah, if we run, he can't follow us.
come at me, man, horse.
He's just trying to stick his
Man,
javelin
horse.
through the thing.
Oh, there's bars there. He's a prisoner. We can free him, and then he can figure out how to get out of the cave.
Then we could be friends.
Okay.
Make him our
I still don't think he can fit out, though. I don't know how they got him in here. Oh, he shrunk.
Hey, wait a second. So Angela just sees this guy, and then he's like, "Oh, man," and then he shrinks.
All right, so Angelo, so as you go down, you see that there is some kind of a makeshift cell that is built back here. Through the bars, you can see there is what looks to be a half man, half horse figure, kind of slumped in the back corner there. As you approach, he looks up. He's kind of half sitting, or well, his horse legs are kind of folded underneath him, so he's in a sitting position.
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Hello, Kenobi.
Does Angelo still have the helmet?
No, I gave that back.
Okay, I
I'd
have
given
it.
that back.
Yeah, I think. Well, did you?
I think he did when I was
I
still on
think
the
I
horse.
did. She was on the horse, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It's okay.
I mean, if all else fails, you can call me over and I'll hand it to you.
Yeah.
Actually, okay. We'll see this. So he starts speaking. What language do you know, Angela?
Probably not a language that this guy knows, but we'll see. I know Common, Novish, Thieves' Cant, and Undercommon.
Okay. So he doesn't get up, but he notices, and you can kind of see where he's kind of looking you up and down. And then he says something in a dialect that you're not understanding.
Would any
You
of
kinda
us be
both-
familiar with it?
You kind of both cock your head at each other. The centaur kind of shakes his head, and then he changes his dialect to a different one. You're not understanding that one either.
Would any of us understand either of the languages he just used?
The rest of you are hearing voices coming out from the direction Angelo is at.
Well, if I'm hearing voices, I'm gonna go investigate.
Okay.
Hello.
Sir, can you speak Common?
He's talking, and then Pythavin, as you approach and you kind of come up behind Angelo, the words that he is speaking. What languages do you know?
Celestial, Common, Elvish, Infernal, and Sylvan.
Okay. So you kind of hear him say, "Oh, silly human. Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth, silly human?"
What language is he speaking out of curiosity?
Sylvan,
And
isn't
then,
it?
and then he changes it. Said, "Oh, maybe your friend, the shorter figure behind you, can understand what I'm saying. Hello, hello." And both the first time he was speaking, and it's not necessarily a common city type of accent, a little bit more primitive from your understanding, but it is Sylvan. and then he quickly switches to Elvish.
Yes. I understand both of these languages.
You do not appear to be the orcish captors above that is desecrating our goddess's shine. I suspect you are here to free. Yes?
What is he saying?
I'm gonna slowly pull out the helm and just put it on Angelo's head at the same time as I put my amulet in my dress.
Oh.
How do
So
we
he-
explain what
so he
we're
kind
here
of-
to do?
He kind of watches you as you kind of start giving the helm to Angelo. Angelo's, kind of fumbling with the helm. You, of course, have to activate it before you can start understanding. Because this is no time for dress up. If you can please save me, I would be very, very appreciative.
The
Fortunately, I feel I am next on the chopping block.
The helm will allow him to understand what you are saying.
Oh, very good, very good. He's human.
He will not be able to I'm slipping into your accent now.
Oh my god.
He will not be able to respond to you, though. I speak your tongue.
Well, it's fortunate for me, whoever you are, you've come to save me at this crucial moment. The orcs, they captured me several days ago. Unfortunately, they also captured our patron. I believe that she will be the one to be sacrificed before myself. I am how you say, the backup?
Can you fight?
Oh. Unfortunately, he stands up and he kind of hits the ground with his hooves. I do have a little fight in me, but they did strip me of my weapons.
I don't know. The
suppose.
picture kind of looks like he has a weapon there.
Do not be deceived by my picture. The camera, it gives 10 pounds.
It is so hard not to just slip into using the same accent as you.
Well, you are speaking his language, so.
Python,
That would make sense.
can you ask him where they put his weapons?
Do you know where your weapons might be? If not, we could probably find you some, but...
I do not know. I haven't seen the outside. I don't even know how long I've been in here. Days, maybe weeks.
I pull out a dagger and I throw it into the cell.
I am hungry. If you've brought any food, it would be much appreciated, but I would prefer freedom more so than anything else you can offer.
Angelo, could you pick the lock?
Of course. I'm going to get my lock pickers out, and I'm gonna try to
Teeth
pick the lock.
You can
Hey,
get
do you
your
know how to
teeth
pick
tooth.
locks?
What?
Do you know how to pick locks?
What do you mean? Do I know how to pick locks?
Why would you assume that, Tor? Like, come on.
No, Tor's watching Drippy television right now, if you recall. Tor's actually not here. Tor has no idea we found a centaur. She's on Drippy TV channel right now.
Dripolodian, if you will.
Dripolodian.
Oh. Hmm.
Go ahead and roll for your keys.
That was a natural 20.
Easy enough.
Baller.
You can kind of see that that this section of this cave, this gate or this cell that has been kind of recently constructed and very crudely, very kind of makeshift. So the lock pops off, no problem whatsoever. In fact, actually, there isn't necessarily a door. You just basically pull the bars, and the bars just kind of swing open, and you kind of holding the bars and set it to the side.
Oh,
It looked like they were just basically chained to the wall.
well then.
You couldn't
That's
have
right.
just busted that down.
Well, Angela, as you approach, though, he kind of you notice that as he's standing up, you kind of see manacles on his back hooves.
Well, I can take care of that as well. I'm gonna kind of motion to him.
He nods, and at this point, with the helm, you can understand. He goes, "Thank you, my friend."
I'm gonna kind of point. I'm gonna kind of put my hand on my chest and be like, Angelo.
And he kind of bows with one hoof kind of bending backwards there, and he goes, "Xanth."
Ooh, where's my pen? How do you spell that?
Never mind, that was a stupid question.
Xanth.
And I'm going to try to.
Undo his manacles as well.
Okay, go ahead and roll your thieves.
That one will be a 19.
Perfect. Manacles pop open. He kind of steps out of them, and he's tiny, and he is large for this cell. This is definitely a small stable in comparison to, I'm sure, what he's used to out in the wild. Kind of a makeshift stable, but I mean, legit.
Poor
There's
man.
like basically the only thing in here is dirt walls, the kind of strapped gate that you just removed, and then there's like a pile of hay in the corner. So that is all.
They're really out here treating this man like a horse.
Yeah, for real.
Jeez.
So he kind of gallops a little bit. Angelo, you kind of back up a little bit to give him kind of some room, because he kind of spins a little bit, kind of feeling like the blood rushing back into his hooves and his legs. Oh, yes. I long to gallop in the wilds once more. Thank you, my friends. Thank you, my friends. What, Angelo, you say? Who is the rest of your company behind you?
Well,
He
I point to Pythavan. Pythavan. Mahi. Torrent. And
Tavith
Is
is like
Tavith-
totally. Tavith's not even here. Tavith is still at the entrance, and he's
He
kind
can't
of
see me.
he doesn't know what's going on at this point.
Can I take the manacles? I would like to keep the manacles.
They are kind of attached to the only part that's open, of course, is the part that he unlocked. The rest of them are kind of
Shoot.
attached or dug into the wall or the walls.
Okay, never mind.
You can strength
Nope.
check pull him if you wanted to
Nope.
try.
I'm good.
Okay. Probably have to wait till he gets out of the room because it's a little crowded right now. Well, like I say, Xanth is very fortunate that you have come to rescue him in such a time as need. I fear, if it's not too late, Lunaria, well, she is not already gone to the other side. The orcs have taken her to the top of the hill. I suspect they are going to do some terrible things to her.
What was that name?
Lunaria.
I wish I could
Um,
understand. this
I know
freaking
that
conversation.
I know that I had done this before, but I don't know if I missed it or if I just wasn't heard. But I am going to take out the dagger that Python had given me, and I'm going to hand it to him. Hand it out to him.
He kind of looks a little confused, but he looks at you and you hold the dagger out. Then he kind of nods and he takes it. He kind of inspects it a little bit and twirls it. Well, so it's a simple weapon, but it will suffice.
What kind of weapon would you prefer? And as I'm talking, I'm gonna take the other dagger out of my other boot and hand it over to Angelo.
Just out of curiosity, are
Make it
you
impulse.
holding the javelin, Python? You said you were holding it to the side.
Probably sheathed it, put it on my belt, and I don't know how
Okay.
one would sheath a javelin, but
You would just strap it to your
Yeah.
pack on the back. Yeah, pull it out when needed. Okay, I just didn't know if you were actually had it out or not.
I probably put it away while we were sneaking.
Okay, so he kind of stretches his arms out and goes, "Well, I prefer more of the longer range variety, possibly spears, of what I've trained in the past."
Mahi,
And he kind of looks and he points
Yes.
down at his feet and he goes, These are what I use for any type of melee encounter.
Do you have any javelins? I remember you used to carry javelins.
I was unable to retrieve them. Last time I saw them, they were... Holy crap, that was back at the Nothic cave.
Yeah. I think you might have still had some after that. Last time you used one was in the death house, but if,
Oh, no. They were stolen.
yeah, I was
They were
gonna say,
stolen from...
if you had them before the drow and never got new ones,
Nope. I need to do that.
sure do. Well, we'll see if we can find you anything else. I don't think any of us have much of ranged weapons at this point that we are willing to part with, at least.
And he kind of bows and nods. It is no trouble, really. Freedom is more desirable at this point. I prefer to escape if necessary. But I am concerned if Lenaria is still alive. Desire to do what I can to free her.
And please, we could use the assistance. We're worn from fighting all day already.
Very well, I'll do what I can. What brings you here? How did you find me? Did the goddess send you?
Not exactly. We're seeking ingredients for a potion.
He kind of looks around. He goes, unfortunately, there's not much to find in these caves, accordingly. The woods, of course, full of different ingredients.
The orcs have what we need.
Understandable. It's most likely involving their sacrilege above.
Possibly.
Freaking sacrilegious orc.
Pite's like, oop. Did the goddess send you?
Well, I mean,
God.
Yeah, the god sent me.
The winged mother works in mysterious ways. However you all came to be here is of no consequence. I'm just glad that you did. I follow your lead.
Angelo, could you check the other hallway?
of course. I kind of like pat the dagger that she just gave me. And I'm gonna go over there, and I am gonna wait to see if there's any more centaurs.
More centaurs, more centaurs, more
or
centaurs.
anything
More centaurs.
Anything particularly attacky? Yeah. Keep an eye.
Can we have like a beholder on our side?
Can we have a small attack gnome?
A little
Attack,
beholder.
no.
Hey, DM.
Like a gnome with rabies.
Yes.
This is gonna sound strange, and I don't know quite how to do this. I know we're not like anywhere in combat or anything, but Mahi, best way I can describe it is holding an action of if anything jumps out or like tries to attack, and if anything is directed towards Tor, Mahi is just gonna take it.
He's just on guard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
Perpetually holding the dodge action, but the opposite of the dodge action.
exactly like
The interfere
I'm gonna-
action.
the interfere action.
Help.
No, I like my phrasing better.
Interfere action.
Anyway, what you doing, Angelo?
Anywho,
I don't know. What am I doing, Angelo?
So this little section here. This one's a smaller room, and you kind of see that this one is kind of roped off. There's like a little gate with a which is lashed shut with rope, not locked like the other one. On the other side, you see a lone little deer that is laying in an
Aw.
equally small pile of hay. on the ground.
I am cutting this thing open. I'm taking my
The
dagger.
deer?
I'm cutting this thing open. Yep, the
The
deer.
deer?
The deer. I'm cutting the
The
deer
rope.
open. No, I'm cutting the rope.
rope.
I'm
That's-
cutting
yeah.
the rope.
So you cut the
Not
rope,
even
and the
like
gate,
that. I
went
kill
from
this
0
thing.
to 100.
the gate kind of swings and swivels a little bit, and almost looks like it's going to kind of fall over. The deer, noticing your presence, kind of backs up to the corner of the room.
It's all right, little one.
It shudders a
You're
little
okay
bit.
now. I'm gonna. I think I have like 1 ration left. I'm gonna hold out a ration.
Oh, speaking of rations, while he's doing that, I'm gonna give some food to our horse friend here.
Okay. All right, go ahead and remove a ration. Angelo, go ahead and roll an animal handling check for me with advantage with the ration.
All right. The 16.
Okay.
That was
Okay.
much better than the first one.
Lower ranks, join
Tim-
our army.
Timidly and still kind of shivering, the deer looks somewhat emaciated.
Hated.
He's emancipated. He kind of
Has
moves
been.
over to you. He kind of sniffs, and he licks ration very slowly. Licks it again, and then no, kind of very, very fervently takes it from your hand. And it's a little weird, but it looks hungry, like it does not care. This is not its normal type of meal.
Gonna pet it a bit, and I'm gonna stand up. And I'm gonna start looking down the other hallway.
All right. Accepts your pet, and as you turn and walk down the hallway, it kind of peeks out. Tor, you kind of see the deer head kind of peek out from the room.
No, I don't.
Wait,
into-
no, she's still in drippy.
Oh.
I'm
Oh,
in
never
drippy
mind.
mode.
You're still watching. Mahi and Python, you would see this. So you see the deer head kind of poke out into the hallway, and noticing the rest of you kind of dips his head back in.
I
He
changed
licks
my
his
mind.
Lips. No, I'm just joking.
Xanth is currently eating Python's rations. He's in the hallway behind you.
Oh, he's hungry.
Tora's gonna be so confused when she comes back.
We got a deer and a centaur. What the heck? What a miss.
For real.
Oh, by the way, this is Xanth. He speaks Elvish, so use Elvish.
All right, Angelo. So ahead is there's a door. You see a wooden door about right here, and this opens up into a larger room.
I'm gonna motion for them to follow, and I'm gonna begin.
Come on, Tor.
All right.
Leave me alone. Doop-a-doop-a-doo.
As you kind of curve the corner here, on this
Okay, you're still
far
going.
wall, right here, Angelo, you see kind of a very intricate diagram. It's almost a circular emblem, but it's split between 3 different. You can kind of notice there's 3 round holes spread about the symbol. They look to be on each circle level. Basically, they're kind of split into 3 different circles. And the picture quite doesn't make any sense to you at the moment.
Right, Evan.
Aye.
I point to it.
I'm gonna go look at it.
Go ahead, and if you want to, both roll an investigation for me.
What is my investigation?
21.
24.
Okay. So while this is happening, so Tavith, as you kind of watch the rest of your party kind of head down further, you see the centaur kind of walk, munching on a ration, and he's like in the middle of biting down and kind of ripping into it, and his mouth is full. He kind of raises one hand at you.
Oh. I raise my hand back at him.
He says something to you, but you
Thumbs
don't
up.
understand what he's saying.
I'm just gonna mumble back.
Oh yeah.
He,
wouldn't know what I'm saying
he
either.
shrugs and continues eating and following Tor. Back to you, Python and Angelo. So, with your investigation check, so Python, you kind of get a sense of familiarity to what this symbol depicts. It looks like it's a symbol, but the circles are not aligned properly. And each level there is not necessarily a small, but there's basically a hole. Like there might have been a handle at one point. Unfortunately, at this point, it's missing. But Angelo, you can determine that if you could move these circles and position them in just a way, it might discover what this actual picture is in front of you.
So I accidentally grabbed someone.
Cleric, do you think it is wise to test this out and turn one of the circles?
If you would care to try.
Alright. I'm a good.
Can I go test that wooden door? I don't want to open it. I just want to see if it's locked.
Okay. You go ahead and shake the handle. Doesn't seem locked.
I have a sneaking suspicion that solving this will open that.
Wait, did you just say it doesn't seem locked?
It does not seem locked.
Oh. Ha ha ha. Never mind. I didn't say that.
Well, alright. Surely this can't be too hard. And I'm gonna start spinning a circle until it kind of feels right.
So you kind of put your hands against the glyph and you kind of finger the grooves between the interlocking circles, the three of them, as it goes to the smaller one, the larger outer ring, and then the further largest outer ring accordingly. And you notice that the holes are kind of in different positions. But you try to put both your hands on it and twist it, and you don't really seem to have enough leverage to be able to move. But it does feel like these things can move and rotate.
Pythavan, can you do a magic thing?
Can I do a magic thing?
Yes.
Can I go... I want to look more closely at this wall. Is it just a matter of he's not strong enough to move it, or is there some mechanism that we're missing here?
Go ahead and roll investigation again for me.
Did you just call Angelo weak?
He is
Come
weak,
on.
that's canon.
He is weak. Oh,
He's got negative strength.
Oh, he's pathetic.
He does
he's
not.
he's not a twig, but he has no muscle. He's no muscle whatsoever.
It's an 11. But I did get a 21 before.
You did get a 21 before, so based on what you have, and you kind of follow kind of the same route that Angelo took, and you kind of put your hands and kind of follow along the grooves, and then you kind of put your finger into the hole, kind of circle around it. It looks like it's large enough where some kind of maybe a stick or a rod was inserted into this at some
rod,
point.
you say?
And you think with maybe enough leverage on a handle, you can actually turn and crank the circle to align the pictures. The individual pictures, once aligned, possibly might reveals something.
Well,
Some
isn't
type of a
it
secret.
convenient that I have a rod? So I'm gonna pull out
An
the
immovable one.
immovable rod, but I'm not gonna make it immovable because I very much want it to move. But I'm gonna
Alright.
try to do the thing and make it turn.
Okay. So you go ahead and start off with the beginning or the innermost circle. Like I said, there's 3 holes, so you start off with that one. The rod goes in, snaps. And then you go ahead and crank it. And as you do, you can watch as the picture starts to rotate. And you can hear clicking noises in the background behind the wall. You go ahead and pull the rod out.
I want to like test it and see if it'll go. Like, is it going to go back to where it was if I let it go?
It seems as you pull the rod out, the position that you left it in is it's not changing, it's not moving.
Okay, so I'm turning it to where the image matches up, and then I'm gonna take my rod and put it back in my bag.
Okay. So you start off with a second outer level. Insert the rod. Start cranking. This one's a little bit harder. So here I want you to do a strength check for me.
Come on, it was gonna be a 19. But instead it's a nat 1.
Oh no. Oh my goodness.
Unfortunately, this one seems like it's not gonna budge, and you also seem to have noticed that the rod won't pull out.
Tavi!
Oh,
Mahi, you kind of
I'm looking
hear
around like,
this echo around.
did I hear something?
Tavi,
Xanth
come
kinda
here.
looks
Wait, no,
up.
you're way far away. Mahi, come here. Wasn't looking at the map.
I bring Tor along.
Do.
Can you turn
Yes.
this?
Oh, I'm getting ready for the snarky remark. Here, Angelo. And I kind of give Tor off to Angelo.
We're just passing her back and forth.
And I just grab
We
it.
should just have her ride on the centaur.
Go ahead
I don't know if
and
centaurs like that.
They don't, but that would be hilarious.
so Mahi, so you go ahead and attempt to push it, and you realize that you struggle a little bit, and it doesn't seem to budge either. Go ahead and roll an investigation for me.
Hey, with my plus none, and let's see how this goes. Oh, that's about as much as I expected. 7.
Go ahead and roll a strength check for me.
Okay. I'm better at these. I just jinxed it. Natural 20!
Nice.
Hey.
With an athletics plus 6, so 26.
Let me do one check here. Okay. And you kind of watch as Mahi kind of puts his clawed feet on the back of the wall, and he's basically kind of perpendicular to the rod, and he's just basically stretched out, hovering in the middle of the room here, doing all of his might. It is not budging. You also attempt to pull it out. The rod is not pulling out either.
Python, undo it, whatever you did.
Yeah. Can I
Look,
put my
I
hand?
don't know much about. I don't know
Pass-
much about magic items, but you said this is an immovable rod.
I didn't
What happened to-
activate the immovable rod.
Can you please check to see if it?
Can I check to see if I've activated the immovable rod?
Go ahead and push the button.
I push the button.
It comes out of the hole.
Son of a.
Good job.
Stupid moron.
You undid it.
That's what a
You
nat
thought
1
that
does
was
to you.
Stupid.
What a doofus.
You know,
Somebody
it's the
from your
times that
party.
I actually solve the problems and say, hey, I'm not a complete and total dumb beep. Tor isn't around.
You get one time. And Tor didn't even see it.
You were real close to buzzing that yourself, Mahi, even without that, but
I know it's like a
DC
30, isn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah. That's what I had to
I
check.
should have given you guidance. It would have been funny.
I might have would have broke the rod.
So the rest of you kind of watch Python as she swears that
Oh yeah.
she didn't. And then,
she swears she didn't, and then swears in the other sense of swearing.
yes. And a different language that, well, Angelo's you still got the helm on?
Yep.
Yep, so you
Yeah,
hear
nothing-
her say
nothing up.
something naughty. Mahi,
You
just get the
hear
sense
like
that,
you hear like an F-bomb in Infernal.
Oh, dang. All right.
she now pulls the rod out. And you're currently holding the rod.
I just stick it back in and then try to move it again.
Alright, go ahead and roll another strength check.
Or you could have just let a strong person try the strength check the second
No,
time.
now I'm
Go
spiteful.
off.
14.
Okay, it's good enough. Alright, so you go ahead, crank this one. You try to match up with the inner circle's picture. It's now starting to become, there's a shape at this point. It looks bird-like.
Gee, I wonder what it could be.
There's a final ring that
Take
is
the rod
unaligned
out.
at the moment.
Put it into the third one.
Okay.
Mahi, would you like to do the honors?
Sure.
You can
Go ahead and
finish
roll
our
it,
picture,
Knuckles.
yes.
Go ahead and roll a strength check for me.
What the crap? 10 total.
Okay, I could have done that.
As you
Shut
start
up.
kind of trying to pull down, this one's a little bit higher, so you try to get enough leverage, but you start to try to push it downward in order to align it, and it's not budging, but your arm is hurting from that last attempt that you just did. You
No.
feel like you've,
Mahi takes off the gauntlets and rolls up his sleeves.
No.
Grabs it again.
All right. I'm going to walk up and I'm going to put Tor's hand on Python's arm and I'm going to go over to the wooden door.
I've been passed again.
Ah,
I'm gonna cast guidance on Mahi if he's trying again.
All right. While Mahi's trying again, what do you do, Angela?
I'm just going over to the wooden door and I'm going to open it.
Okay.
But I'll wait for him to do the thing. Mahi, do the thing.
Can I do
Door
the
opens
thing?
up. Yeah, while you're struggling with trying to do that, and Python is currently trying to guide you, it's like, no, Mahi, this is how you do it. So, Angela, you open the wooden door, and it looks like there's this hallway that the tunnel starts sloping up to what looks to be kind of a trap door. There's a ladder at the far end of it, and a trap door at the very top of the roof.
All right. I'm going to go back and I'm going to close the door behind me.
All right, Mahi, go ahead and roll again with your guidance.
Heck yeah, I'll take that. What's the guidance do anyway?
An extra D4.
Plus 4. Yeah, D4. Yeah.
That is a 25 total.
All right, easy enough.
I rolled a 1 on the D4. I was really hoping for a little bit more.
So you go ahead and start rotating it downward. As you notice in Python, you watch as he's spinning it, the picture starts to align, and when it gets just close enough, you can see the outward symbol of Airdrie Fendre. And
Shock.
the final click in place as Mahi gets to the last part, and the picture snaps in place. Mahi, you no longer can pull the rod.
I just take it out, end it
All
back
right.
to Pyth, And I put back on my gauntlets and rolled back down my
As
sleeves.
soon as you take it out, you watch it. There's a split line down the middle of the wall, and the two sides of it split open. Revealing a interchamber.
Oh.
I
Oh.
am assuming that that Pyth is going to continue and investigate. So Mahi just kind of like, I'll take the turret now.
Hand tore up again.
Am I getting anything new on Drippy television?
No. The
They're
only
still
thing
all
Drip,
kind of in the same spot.
basically all that Drippy sees at this point is every few moments you do see kind of an orc kind of pass between the stone slabs. Just basically looks like a rotating patrol around the perimeter.
Okay.
Alrighty. Real quick, let's break for potty here,
Awesome.
and then I will reveal what you have discovered.
Oh boy.
Dun.
Oh, Advisor.
The great reveal.